Okay, shall we try this again? We're going to knap some regular chert. If the video messes up, I'll try to figure out something else. You know, maybe stop the video and restart it every once in a while. All right, let's do this before the camera decides it wants to do something funny. All right, so this is roadside chert from Texas. Pretty typical in spots where you can find it. You can't typically find it everywhere, but where you do find it, this is pretty typical. Okay. Covered in cortex. It's chalky, so this should be good, but I don't know. This looked kind of fragile. Let's see, the best way to do this. Best way to do it is just crack it in half, but it's difficult when it's got so much cortex and stuff all over it. Yeah, it seems like it's good quality stuff. There's just not much of it. Yeah, not too shabby. Let's just hope it's solid all the way through. Once in a while, you'll get a stone that's got a natural crack all the way through it. It's got cracks there. This glove is too thin for this work. Feeling it on my fingers, on my little finger especially. When the flakes come off, they'll hit my little finger. Yeah, that's a natural crack in the stone. Yeah. Nice translucency, whatever it is. It feels like a true flint. But it's called chert most of the time. It's like an Edwards Plateau chert. From Texas. The Edwards Plateau is a large area, and there are cherts on the outskirts of the Edwards Plateau that are similar to the cherts within the plateau. This might be one of the outskirts cherts. Yeah. This side is better than this side, but I don't know how much of this side I can preserve. Yeah, nice. This is a 9-ounce bopper. copper, lead filled. Alright, so it's got a slight curve in it. It's got a nice slight curve. But it's good quality. I should be able to get something out of it for sure. Yeah. Alright, stage 1 is over with this one. Let's get this one. Let's get this one first staged. I'll get this one first staged, and then we'll figure out what to do with them. I will sort through that stuff and get the good pieces out for small arrowheads. That was correct. Right. Where did that go? Where did it come from? Here? Oh yeah. That just popped right off. I didn't even hit that part. I hit this right there. And this came off. Alright. This looks like good stuff. Good. Oop. Oopsie daisy. There's a pocket of quartzite in there. Yeah, it looks like some weird stuff going on there. And quartz all over the place. See, this is weird stuff. It's not fracturing normally. It's fracturing weirdly. You might say, well, that's exactly like all of mine, so it's normal for mine. Yeah, some people, that's all they got is this stuff that breaks weirdly. And they think that that's the way it's supposed to be, but it's not. Good rock doesn't nap like this. It doesn't look like this when you nap it. No, this is not good quality stuff on this side. This side might be better quality. Who knows? Can it still be made into tools and points and good stuff? Why, yes, of course. But you never know. What's going to happen? There is a possibility that I could make something cool out of it, but you never know. Because this stuff is difficult to thin down. And you might say, well, there's a thin flake right there. How can it be difficult to thin down? The flakes that come off are different than the workpiece that you're working on. See, it's got natural defects. See that? That'll prevent you from getting a nice biface. And the flakes don't always come off nicely. Sometimes they're all shattery. You can selectively look at flakes and go, look how thin that flake is. You can get a biface that thin, no problem. No. Nope, nope. Unless you start with a flake that thin. You're not going to get a biface that thin. When it's unpredictable like this. Like I said, some of the flakes are intact, they hold together. And some of the flakes don't. It's all a matter of luck. You can't take the lucky good flakes that come off and say, yeah, the biface is going to look like that flake if you're good. If you know what you're doing. Only if you're lucky will the biface look like that. Because that's what was the determining factor in how that flake looked. It was luck. Now, if the flakes all break apart, that is an indication that it could be snap and half-ish type stuff. And if they hold together, it's good quality stuff. But you also have to look at how it's revealing itself. Is it revealing itself as a nice consistent material or not? And this is not a nice consistent material. This has got weirdness to it. It's got internal fractures, either from stress or from the weather. Pressure stress from being underground under pressure, or the weather is doing it. I don't know what causes all these internal existing fractures that don't go all the way through the material. They just are just little cracks here and here and here, and in different spots, little cracks. I don't know what causes that. All I know is it's not easy to nap through that stuff. It can be napped, but you have to either leave it thick or leave a bunch of that stuff in when it's thin, or just make small little points out of the good in-between material. Okay. Yikes. It does not look promising. Well, it might be behaving itself on this other side. That's encouraging. Oops, look at that. These flakes are popping out. I don't even know where they're coming from. I think one came off of there, right there. It looks like it might have been a heat pop. If I didn't know any better, if I just found this out in the back 40 just like this, that almost looks like a heat pop. Although maybe this was damaged by heat, but I don't think so. It had a thick cortex on it. My guess is the heat couldn't get to it with a cortex that thick. But you never know. Maybe it did. From a forest fire or brush fire. That kind of thing. Maybe. Maybe that's why it's messed up. But it would probably feel more heat treated than this. This feels very raw. It does not feel like a heat treat. Yeah, nature's heat treat. It is a thing. Nature can heat treat things with pressure from underground. Temperatures underground can reach high levels. Yeah. High enough to heat treat this stuff and to melt it into lava or whatever. I don't know. This one's more tricky because some of these cracks look pretty bad. It's more tricky because you don't know what to expect. It's got to be at least somewhat predictable when you want to make a nice point. All right, so this is stage one on this piece also. All right, so I've reached stage one on both of these pieces. Take these home from the quarry. These are quarry blanks. I refined this one a little bit more just so I could see what it was doing. It has a crack here, which means that I might not be able to get a good biface out of it. I think that's a pre-existing crack. It may be healed. There's another one here. This one does have possibilities, but I bet you it's going to snap right across the exact middle. This one, on the other hand, looks a little bit better. But I'm going to nap this one down further first before I nap the other one down further. All right? Okay, let's get this out of the way. Okay, let's get this one out of the way, see what it does. Oh, I got flakes down in my boot. Hold on. Yeah, can't escape it. Got a bunch in there. Let's see what I can do. I don't know how I got them in there. Okay. All right, so let's see. I don't care if I spent money on boots and they still don't work. I like them. I like these particular boots. I don't like boots in general. I'm looking at a pair of slip-on boots. It's starting to get pricey. Yeah, I need a wide boot. 7.5 wide or 8 wide. So not all boot manufacturers are putting those out online. Just give away my boot size. Yeah, I got little bitty feet. I'm not that tall. I'm not tall at all. Nope. And I'm shrinking because of my old age. Okay, I see how it's going to go. I don't know what I should thin down first. Go for the worst first, or try to find out how far those cracks go inward to see what I'm dealing with. What's the worst first tactic? How do you do it? Well, you have to do the ends so they're not too heavy. Heavy ends lead to snap and halfings. Snap and halfings? Snap and halfings. So you take care of the ends first. By thinning them down to make them lighter in weight. So when you hit the middle, you're not dealing with weight on the ends. That could add extra bending. See that? That's a natural surface of a crack that's already in there. It's got patina on that. See how it's shiny right there? It's different from the other stone that you crack into. That means it was pre-existing. It's got a crack in there that goes a ways in. Somebody was asking me, am I going to knap the stones that were up here? I said, yeah, that's next. I don't know why you want to see these crud stones being knapped. So, I don't know why you want them to seem so much. What's the big deal? Because these are crud stones. You want to see the crud stones being knapped? I suppose. Hope you know all crud stones are different. You're not going to learn how to knap all crud stones by seeing how I knap this one crud stone. Well, then knap a bunch. Knap 100 crud stones then. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm going to have to do. Knap 100 crud stones so you can see all the different possibilities. Dang it, there's a lot of cracks in this one. Natural crack right in there. See the patina? I'd be lucky to get one decent point out of this. The glove gets in the way when it gets this narrow. Come on. Yeah, when the stone gets this narrow, the glove starts to peek out over the sides when I'm abrading and when I'm striking with a billet. It gets in the way. It's not like it's any safer to knap when it gets smaller like this, because I can still cut my fingers quite a bit. It's just the glove's in the way. It's in the way. It affects the knapping. When you talk about subtle changes making all the difference. These little things can make all the difference. The fact that the glove is just a little bit too baggy or getting in the way of abrading properly or causing a little bit of aggravation, it affects the flint knapping. Okay, I got my higher power glasses on, so my depth perception is off, if you're wondering why I'm fumbling with it. Yeah, I'm wearing my higher power glasses so that I can get used to it and not having to keep switching glasses. So when I turn like this, I'm losing my depth perception when I'm adjusting it. Now, if I leave it thick, I don't have to worry too much. There's a crack right in here. I'm going to see where it goes. Where it goes, nobody knows. But I'm going to see where it goes. Because I'm the one who needs to knows. And of course that crack is halfway in the middle almost exactly. Of course. Why is that a problem? Because that's the easiest spot for it to crack, right in the middle exactly. The exact middle is right where it's easiest to crack, unless you leave that the thickest part. The only reason why it's being saved, or the only reason why it's not cracked already is because it is thickest in the middle. That would have opened up a long time ago if I had tried to thin down the middle first. That's not good. It's going to be crunchy-ola the whole way. Natural crack in there too. There's a crack there, but it doesn't look like it goes anywhere. It's just on the surface right there. So how does it look right now? It looks pretty bad, actually. I don't see much hope for this one unless I leave it thick. It's got quartzite, which are weak spots. It's got natural cracks in it all over the place. It's got inconsistencies where it's easy to nap some spots but difficult to nap in other spots. And some spots that look like they're difficult to nap but they're not. And some spots that they look difficult to nap but they're easy. I gotta tiptoe and just take it slow. camera has dust all over it. The camera, phone camera has dust all over it. From the abrading I just did. Yeah, see, that looks like it will be easy to nap through, but it's not. Normally that would have flaked. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, normally that would have flaked, but I don't know why it didn't. It cracked halfway through, so there might have been a defect in the flake itself. It looks like there's a natural crack in there. So the only thing consistent about this type of stone is, when knapping this type of stone, is to keep it thick until you can see a good way to thin it. Don't try to thin it right away. If it can be thinned after you've napped it for a while, you think you can thin it, then thin it, but otherwise, nap it like an almond and keep it that way. That way you can at least have a tool or something to put in your display case or whatever you're doing, instead of having two halves and show up for dinner miserable. Did it go okay in the shop today? No. Now my meatloaf is gonna taste terrible because I got a bad attitude. Yeah. I hate rocks. Yeah. We all go through that. We all hate rocks until we don't hate them anymore. Then we go back out. Until we hate them again and go back inside. Is that a natural crack? Yeah, that's a natural. Because of the shiny patina on it. On that surface. If the surface, it looks like freshly cracked, then it's me that made the mistake. But see, that's a natural patina crack in there. Patina that's on the inside of that crack. So that's not my fault. That one was. I failed to dislodge. There it is. And there's a natural crack right in here. See it? You want me to keep napping it? Yes? To see how to break it? This time we'll have the snap on camera. Filming the snap. Because I'm pretty sure it's going to snap. Just a heads up. Unless I get lucky. I think there's an 80% chance it's going to snap somewhere. And I'm not going to have a whole point. %80 chance, yeah, or more. It looks pretty rough. And not much hope. But you never know. See, there's a natural crack right there. And right here. See, I'm napping right around or with a bunch of other cracks. Not just the ones that I install. Because I can install incipients and that kind of thing, but there's a bunch of already pre-existing cracks in this stuff. Some of them are they look partially healed, which means they're not as dangerous as the incipients. If they're partially healed, at least they've got a little bit of strength to the cracks, but they still open up. They can still mess up your day. Of course. Oh, it's getting dark out. Let's see, do I need to go in and check on things? No, not yet. If I was smart, I'd just leave it like this. And just sharpen the tip and I can use it as a little knife. And not do any more with it. If I was smart. Because the tip looks like it's not bad quality. I'll just sharpen the tip and use it as a butchering tool. Yeah. Going further with it, it's not going to be smart. But I might go back to it. Let's do this one before it gets too late. Or before the video quality starts to get messed up. Or my camera starts to act funny. Let's do this one. This one is a lot higher grade. Yep. Okay. Higher grade stone, higher grade as far as consistency. Higher grade nappability, higher grade consistency. So you can be very nappable but very inconsistent because it'll have inclusions that are not nappable, but the majority is. This one has majority nappable. Yeah, not very many inconsistencies. So it looks good. Yeah, it's good. All right. Now, one thing I was going to do that I haven't done yet on video very much is to put a base on it or a stem on it first, right? And then do the blade and have the stem off kilter so that the stem is one direction and the blade's the other direction. Okay, I think I'm going to show you how that's done. Okay? Okay. Yes? I'm going to put a stem on this. And then I'm going to do the blade. Yeah. They're going to be off. And they don't always, on the artifacts, are not always like that, but there's some styles that have differences in the planes on the stem and the blade. Now they don't do that on purpose. They do it to take advantage of the situation that they're in. They put the stem in first, wherever it's easiest, and then they do the blade. So I'm gonna create a stem here where it's easiest to create a stem. Okay, that's a nice flake. Let me put that aside in the good flakes stack. Hold on, where did I put it? Don't tell me I'm gonna have to dig it out. I don't have a good flake stack. Oh well. Just gonna have to lose it then. Alright, so I'm gonna put a stem in right here on this plane. You'll see. Hold on. Alright. Most of the stem is in. Should have more on this side, but oh well. Okay. See, the hard part about this is making sure that the stem and the blade are on different planes. Normally I wouldn't be paying attention to that, but to demonstrate what it looks like to have it being done is the hard part, doing it on purpose. I don't know if you know what I mean. Why would they do it this way? It's just to take advantage of what's going on with the stone. If a stone naps better in a certain way, that's what they would do with it. But for the demonstration purposes on the video, I have to make sure that the stem and the blade are not on the same plane. That's harder than being opportunistic. I have to intentionally make it look like I'm being opportunistic, which is very difficult. So I want to get rid of this cruddy stuff on this side. Keep this good stuff, which puts the blade on a different plane than the stem. Ooh, not like that. Yeah, those flakes are sticky. Okay, so almost done, right? I shaped the blade. Now I've got to thin it a little bit more up here at the tip. I can't do too much about this, although I'm going to notch it. I might be able to clear some of that out of there. But you can see the stem is not in line with the blade. See, the stem is on that plane and the blade is on that plane. See that? But it doesn't matter when you haft it. Alright, let's see what I can do to finish this up. Now, if you watch the way this progressed, it would be confusing because I intentionally made the base not in line with the stem. Oh, the base not in line with the blade. Alright, so I didn't proceed in a normal way. Now, the reason is I intentionally made the that difference. Now, if I was just being opportunistic, you couldn't tell that I was intentionally doing that. It would just be me taking advantage of the shape of the stone, and it just so happened by coincidence that the blade and the stem were misaligned. Okay, that would look normal if I had done it that way. Just opportunistically by chance, that's the way it worked out. But I was intentionally making sure that the blade and the stem were misaligned. So it'll get you confused. I mean, you will get confused watching that. Like, why did he take a flake there? Why did he trim it that way? Why did he move the edge in that direction? Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense because I'm trying to misalign the things. Normally I have everything on the same plane. But back in the day, the reason why I'm doing this is because I have artifacts that have these things on different planes. The stem is on a different plane than the blade. I have artifacts like that. Okay? All right. Almost got it. Pretty close. Okay, now I'm just going to finish it up. All right, where's my floor shafts? Just going to make sure it fits into one of my floor shafts and that it looks good. Yeah. See, it'll fit. It'll be straight. It's just a little bit wonky. All right? It'll still fit in there and everything will be straight. And it'll be good as a little dart point when I finish it up. It's just not, the stem is not aligned with the blade. Okay. All right. I got a lot of metal marks on this one. Oops. Okay. Let's finish this up. Yeah, I guess I can finish the whole thing with pressure. I want to clean this up a little bit more though. I don't know if I'll be able to. Nah. Let's just finish it up. Yeah, it's already been abraded from earlier. I'm going to braid it one more time. And do one more pass on the other side to finish it up. Okay. Okay. That's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. Ah, come on. See, I'm not going to worry about it, and then it starts to step fracture everywhere. Okay. I'm getting tired. Too tired lately. Where is it? Okay. No, it's not going to do it. These flakes are sticky. I gotta stop messing with this edge. It's giving me trouble. I can't put enough pressure on it to do what I want to do. It keeps biting it. Yeah, it's not doing what I want. Either it doesn't do anything or it does too much. Yeah. And I gotta go inside. So the material is pretty good. It's just that it's not consistent. I can usually put enough pressure on it to do what I want. But trying to preserve width and all that, yeah, it's difficult. Especially when I take a bite out of it. The object is to keep enough width so it can be resharpened or whatever. Yeah. But that's it. There you go. The stem's a little wonky. It took me a lot longer than I thought it was going to do to demonstrate that, but that's because it goes against what I normally do. So I had to consciously nap it instead of subconsciously nap it. So it's like a Marshall or almost like a Pedernales type, uh, or a Baker. The earlier forms were more like this, where they did the base and stem first and then did the blade. Like a Baker would have this kind of wonkiness, whereas a Marshall wouldn't, right? Or a Pedernales wouldn't be wonky like this. It'd be flat. Yeah, the later archaics are more flat. The earlier ones are kind of wonky, and the edges are not straight on a lot of the earlier ones too. Okay, but it still fits into the haft just right, and the blade is still lined up straight. It can be lined up nice and straight. Everything. It goes in better one way than the other. Yeah. So yeah, it can be mounted nice and straight. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right. Let's take a shot. I don't know how to get a clear shot of that. It's hard to see unless I turn it around and give you a 3D view. If I take just like a snapshot, it looks fine. Anyways, I'll take a few snapshots. Yeah, next time I think I'll just switch back and forth between the high power and the low power glasses because that was difficult. Keep it on the same high power glasses throughout the whole procedure. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty, there you go. That's it.